First to go viral, LeBron James passing Michael Jordan last night for 4th place on the NBA all-time scoring list. Still talking. And his former teammates, Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye, had a special message for the Kang. Take a listen.
It's a huge accomplishment for a guy like him. It's shown his consistency of ball hogging. We're talking about Bron. We're talking about Bron, 13 away from Jordan. He was a huge ball hog.
You never pass
the ball.
Right on. Why don't you try and pass like the all-time assist leaders? Why don't you try and pass John Stockton instead of trying to pass
come
Kareem?
up off the rock, buddy.
How about
dribbling
that?
the air out.
Can you do that? How about that?
It's ridiculous. It took him long enough. What is this, 19 years?
It took him years.
Years.
Gosh, God, if I kept playing, I would have passed.
I shot 14, 15 times a game.
Wow, God.
It was crazy.
What have you done?
Anyways, congrats, man. You deserve it. You suck.
A better guy.
Yeah, you owe me about.
Channing needs to hurry up and retire so he and RJ can take over the players-only broadcasts and do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 style broadcast. They're great.
Richard Jefferson's got a petition in Cleveland so that Shannon Frye can start his last game there. He's passing around trying to get people to sign it and everything because it's going to be Shannon Frye's last year. Those are LeBron's friends. And that's what your friends say about
And by the way, RJ, friend of the show, signed up for Twitter yesterday finally, right?
Yeah,
Follow
check him out.
Richard, RJeff24 on Twitter. You pointed this out to me. I hadn't seen it till this morning.
Yeah, man, you ain't up with social
I'm not up.
media
No, keeps me up on the gram,
and everything.
on Twitter.
I got to keep you fresh, man.
Snapchat.
Me and your wife, we the only cool things you got in your life, boy.
Hi, excuse me.
He said it right. He said it correct. My son's pretty cool, too.
You forgot one. That's
but he's my son. He forgot.
Yes, not what he forgot. Time for stories to start your morning. Lincoln Riley stuck up for his former quarterback yesterday. Riley called Kyler Murray a tremendous leader after criticism of Murray surfaced after the combine. See, do you agree with Riley's assessment?
This is what I know about Lincoln Riley. Man, there's a handful of NFL owners that would love him coaching their football team. So Lincoln Riley is highly respected in the NFL. Man, Oklahoma knows that. That's why they gave him a contract extension, so no one can grab him. Yeah, I respect Lincoln Riley, but this is what you got to do for your guys. You have to be able to stand up. When someone has a report like that, you have to be able to stand up for them. That's what the college athletes always need, and Lincoln Riley did the right thing, stand up for his guy.
And yesterday on this network, right after this show, I thought Jenny Taft had some really strong comments supporting Kyler Murray. People don't know she does a lot of college football coverage. She talked with Kyler multiple times throughout the year. I think she covered 4 or 5 Oklahoma games. The people that know Kyler seem to be going up against this Charlie Casserly report. Now, that doesn't mean he interviews great, but the leadership stuff can be a different category than how well you interview.
Well, go ahead, Jenny Taft.
She did a great job.
All right, to the NFL now. Landon Collins was not tagged by the Giants earlier this week, and according to reports, they could have traded him for a first-round pick this past season, but did not make the move. Nick, what is your reaction to this report?
This was my beef with the Giants' move, is the lack of consistency in philosophy and a plan moving forward. I don't mind you not trading him before last season. You thought you could be good. He's one of your better players, even if he has problems with coverage. When you're 1-7 and the season's lost, and you see what you got for Eli Apple, what do you think you're going to get for Landon Collins? A first-round pick would have surprised me, but a second-round pick wouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by this. And let's not forget, just because the NFL, we got involved in trades the last 2 years, this is not something NFL general managers and front office people are used to doing. We are seeing a new time in the NFL. So thinking at the trade deadline, this is the NBA, it's not. And they shouldn't got rid of Landon Collins because the Giants did not know at that time if he was going to be part of the team moving into the future.
All right, let's move on to the Boston Celtics now. They got a win over the Kings last night on a Gordon Hayward game-winning basket, but a nice start to their West Coast swing so far. 2 games, 2 wins. Nick, how big was this for Hayward and the Celtics?
It was big, particularly because Gordon wasn't following up his big 30-point game with another big game. He had 10 points going into that moment. He had just fouled Buddy Hield on a 3.
Bad mistake.
Bad mistake. The Celtics were up 3, and he fouled Buddy on a 3 to allow the Kings to tie the basketball game. But so this is a great moment because this would have undone a lot of the good feelings that they got from blowing out the Warriors if they take a couple step backs against a good fighting for the playoffs Kings team.
I think it was a good moment because we have seen Gordon Hayward lose his confidence. We know he's not as athletic. He didn't have a great game, made a bad mistake. Mentally, he could have been in the dumps. But They gave him the ball at the end. Kyrie wasn't playing or wasn't in the game because of a thigh contusion. So Gordon Hayward making a buzzer beater for the Celtics in a tied-up game, that's a huge moment moving forward. The last 2 nights, the Celtics, man, they've really improved. Looking forward to see how they do the rest of the month.
All right, finally, bit of an odd scene at the Lakers game last night with the Lakers in the midst of losing their 4th game in a row. They lost last night. In the midst of missing the playoffs entirely, Rajon Rondo, who's had a tough stretch lately, was seen sitting in a courtside seat far away from the Lakers bench. Surprisingly or not surprisingly, neither Luke Walton nor any of his teammates brought him back to where the team actually sits. Nick, what'd you make of this?
I don't make much of this. Now, there's a discussion about Rondo that needs to be had, but it's very interesting because you can kind of tell, even during the broadcast, how closely people are really watching. So during the Lakers game, the late-night game that they lost a couple nights ago, I can't even remember at this point who they were playing.
Clippers.
Thank you. The Clippers game. LeBron had the ball rolled up to him up the court, and at the end of a quarter, you get a 2-for-1. It rolled all the way to three-point line, and he shot it. And the broadcasters were saying, I've never seen anything like this. They kept going on. He had done it, the exact same thing in the exact same situation a couple nights before. Why do I bring that up? Rondo did this exact same thing the night that we all panicked because LeBron was sitting with a big gap between he and his teammates at the end, one end of the bench. Rondo was doing this. Rondo said after the game he's done it 7 or 8 times this year that he tries to sit in the courtside seats at this point in the game. Now, you can say it's a bad thing, it's being a bad teammate, but it's not new. It's not something that we haven't seen from Rajon Rondo repeatedly throughout the year. Now, listen, Rondo, there's a reason there's the playoff Rondo, right? Rondo when he's in a good place mentally, in a good place emotionally, playing at his best. This is mercurial, regular season, pouting Rondo. And to me, the Rondo story is he's the only of the Lakers' prominent players that's been a negative on the court with LeBron. LeBron plus Kuz, Ingram, Lonzo when he was healthy, all of them have been plus in plus-minus for the season. Tom Haberstroh had it yesterday, minus 55. The LeBron-Rondo combination, which I thought would work, has not worked out at all. He doesn't seem happy. He knows he's on his way out. All of that, to me, is a bigger, real story for the Lakers and what's gone wrong than Rondo sitting courtside instead of with his teammates.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about him sitting there because they're out of it. Their season's over with. And when you have veteran players, especially that have won championships, what do you think he's in L.A. for? Sightseeing? Just to bring his kids out of another school? No. He's there to win. When you sign players like him, you expect, man, the value of these players are going to be over the course of an 82-game season, but it's also going to be in those tough playoff series. That's what and then now, with it being March and them having, what's their playoff chances now? I mean, literally
like
today.
0.4%.
Oh, okay. That will get veteran players sitting in the stands. So I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I didn't, and I knew that he had done it a couple of times earlier in the season. I believe sometimes people, they start looking for stuff. They want to start pointing fingers. But what's happened to Rondo, it's not his fault. He's had a couple different injuries where he's missed a lot of time. But also, Rondo is not a starting point guard. It's not his fault he's playing all those minutes with LeBron. He was supposed to be playing with the second unit. But Lonzo Ball's inability to stay healthy made Rondo play more. At this stage of Rondo's career, Rondo shouldn't be playing all those minutes.
And that's not what he was brought there for. He was brought there to help push Lonzo in practice, to be a guy who, even though he has sometimes had some attitude problems, he's actually been very good with young players. In Chicago, when he was there, his beef wasn't with the older players. He was on the side of the younger players. You have a young roster in Los Angeles. LeBron's not known. He has never played with a bunch of young guys. There were a lot of reasons they thought Rondo would be a good leader during the regular season and then play his best basketball during the postseason, which we've seen repeatedly from him in his career up to and including last year when he was excellent for the Pelicans, particularly once
I got more problem with him jacking up all them threes.
Man,
that right there is criminal.
Every night now. Like, you're open for a reason. I mean, he shot 7 threes in the first 6 minutes of a game a few days ago.
Lakers lost to the Nuggets last night, their 6th loss in their last 7 games. All right, let's talk some football. Moving on to the Cowboys, coming off an NFC East title. Their goal, like all 31 other teams in the league, improve their team. But unlike a lot of those other teams, they won't be doing it by signing a big-time player in the secondary. Dallas has no interest in signing safeties Earl Thomas, Landon Collins, or Eric Weddle due to their high asking prices. CC, you think we should be worried about the Cowboys' defense?
I'm not going to be worried about their defense. I think that they're going to be, when you're in this new salary cap era that we have, there's a few positions that you just have to do patchwork. Like you have to go around the league and see, man, what's one of these guys can I get at the right price to be able to patch up my lineup so that I don't go over the cap. If you talk about tight ends in the last several years, they've emerged as major pass catchers, game changers. The safety position, it hadn't. Last year in free agency, man, there was no market. So people talked about potential collusion with Eric Reed, but also there wasn't a market for safeties. There will be a market, but throughout the NFL over the last 5 years, the value of safeties has gone down. Just we've seen the emergence of running backs go up in the last 5 years. Safeties go down because they can dictate to the offense what coverage you're playing in based on what their skill set is. So